Hi, Rich Kirkpatrick. This is 2 Minute Tuesday. I'm the author of Mind Blown, Unlock Your Creative Genius by Bridging Science and Magic. Today we're talking about the default mode network. And if you remember the last lesson, we talked about the 3 networks involved with creativity in particular. The salient network, that's the one that signals, do I need to go to this one or that one? Do I need to focus or not focus? And the focus over here is the central executive network. That's where we make decisions, that's where we evaluate. And then over here we have the default mode network, which is where we ideate, where things come to us and we make these interesting connections that we all kind of call creativity. So the default mode network, that's the one where when we're kind of at rest and allow our minds to wander, we start to ruminate, we start to possibly even worry. So there's dark sides to this default mode network. We don't want to stay in there forever. But if we don't know how to get there, we're not going to get ideas. We're not going to come up with anything innovative. Because there's these counterbalanced in the default mode network. There's this idea of task positive network. I won't get into all that crazy, but things that keep us from the default mode network would be when we are just wanting to hustle all the time, keep ourselves focused all the time on tasks. And that will keep us away from dreaming about what's possible, because this takes a little bit of space over here. Also, if we're constantly shifting, we're not able to stay in one idea enough to see where it could lead us to. So that's a little bit about the default mode network and how it works. Now, if you're an ADHD person, apparently, those of us who are in that category, we can't get out of this default mode network. So what happens is we actually need to do the very things I'm saying to not do, which is to get into the task positive network, which is to start to keep ourselves busy so that we can kind of quiet this one over here. And that works sometimes, but the idea is when you're ADHD, those two things collide. Because when you're trying to do tasks, you get distracted. At least that's my experience, and that's what a lot of the researchers are saying about that. So the key here is to find mindfulness, to be aware of when your mind is shifting. And back to the big idea about mind blown is that we have to make shifts in our brain. The more that we can recognize those shifts and control them and exercise making them when we need to make them, the more creative we're going to be. See you next time on 2 Minute Tuesday. We'll talk about the central executive network and all that happens with that. Till next time, keep creating.